Step number 1. Realize why you are skinny fat. Being skinny fat doesn't mean that you got cursed by the dark wizard or something like that. It really isn't some kind of magical inescapable state. It's actually the exact opposite, because fixing the skinny fat physique is pretty simple if you follow all the steps I laid out here for you. What you need to realize is that having a skinny fat physique is the exact reflection of your lifestyle. I can almost guarantee you that if you are skinny fat, you have no idea what you are doing in the gym and you have basically zero muscle on your frame as a result. And you probably also eat like a toddler, and the only movement you get is when you go to the toilet. With a lifestyle like that, of course that you are skinny fat. Did you think that that was gonna give you an 8-pack? It doesn't really work like that. Now that you know why you are in this situation, you have completed the first step of realizing why you are skinny fat in the first place. You are now ready for all the next steps that will show you exactly how to get out of the skinny fat state. Which begins with step number 2. Focus on building more muscle. The fact that you have basically no muscle is one of the main reasons why you have that skinny fat look. It's literally the first part of the word. If you pack on some muscle, the skinny fat allegations will disappear instantly. If you have already been going to the gym for a couple of months, but you are still seeing no changes, you have probably messed up somewhere. Because the skinny fat issue is basically only beginner related. What you need to do as a beginner is focus on the basic exercises. That's what will take you out of the skinny fat state. But that won't happen by hopping from machine to machine or by trying to really focus on your forearms right from the first day. You shouldn't even think about those things. They are just distractions. The only thing that should be in your head is how to master the basic exercises like the bench press, overhead press, squat and the deadlift. Learning the perfect technique on these exercises will make sure that you get out of the whole skinny fat situation, as this will guarantee that you don't get stuck in the beginner limbo, where you just do random things that never really account for anything at the end of the day. And speaking of avoiding the beginner limbo, this feels like a good time to show you my beginner bundle, which is the whole beginner package in one, a training, a nutrition and a cardio guide in one bundle. This bundle will take you on a 3-month journey that will make sure that you are actually able to progress and achieve your goals. I also illustrated the proper technique for all the exercises in the guide, so that you always know exactly what to do. If you want to check it out, click the first link in the description. Now let's continue with step number 3. Being active is key. As I said before, being skinny fat is the exact reflection of your lifestyle. And if your lifestyle looks like sitting at work and then sitting at home, then you can't be surprised that you look like a really comfy pillow. You need to introduce some kind of movement into your life. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. Even if you just start taking small walks each day, it's 1,000 times better than just being a complete couch potato. You are probably thinking, walking is not real cardio? But let's be honest for a second. You are probably thinking this because you are just so lazy that you don't even want to start walking. And you are just feeding your brain with these copium-filled thoughts that are like, nah, walking is not difficult enough, it's not worth doing. So it's not even a problem of walking not being effective. It's a problem of you being so lazy that you would rather pretend that it's not worth doing, so that you can have an excuse to not leave your couch. It's kind of crazy how everyone thinks that doing cardio literally has to paralyze you the next day to be effective. But this couldn't be further from the truth. And this is kind of why majority of people are struggling with being skinny fat. Because people think in an extremely black and white way. It's either doing the most brutal cardio of their life or doing nothing at all. And there is absolutely no in between. It's either this or that. But finding that in between is exactly how you will succeed. You don't need to end up in a wheelchair after every cardio session you do. You just need to get it done and move on with your day. It's the fact that you can do that cardio activity over and over without nuking yourself. That's what makes the difference. So if you are thinking that you are too good to go on a 30-minute walk, then sure, you can keep thinking that. But then you have absolutely no right to complain about being doomed by genetics or any other crap. Because it was you who chose that path. So if you are starting to understand what it is truly about, do one simple thing. Choose a cardio activity that you can actually manage to stick to. So for example, something as simple as walking. Then set up certain days on which you will do that activity for a set amount of time. So for example, you select 4 days in which you will go on a 30-minute walk. And that's all. You just have to follow what you set out to do. And once this becomes a habit and your cardio level increases, you can slowly increase the intensity of the cardio activity that you are doing. So if you started with 30 minutes of walking, make that 45 minutes over time. And then as you get better at that, you could for example try transitioning into rocking. The main idea of cardio and fitness as a whole is that you need to start with something that you can actually stick to and then increase that over time. Which is exactly what I showed you in this step and what everyone should be doing. Progressive overload is just extremely important. That's what you need to keep in mind. Now it's time for step number 4. Improve your nutrition. This focuses on the second part of the word. Here you would think that the main thing to focus on should be losing weight, right? And yeah, you would be kind of right. But this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go on a strict diet. Why, you might ask? It's because everything is connected. Your lifestyle, your training regimen, your activities, your diet, everything has an impact on how you look like. When you finally stop being a lazy potato and start moving and going to the gym, the calories that are needed to maintain your current weight will naturally increase. Just because you are finally more active, so you are burning way more calories than before. Because all the sitting around you did before really didn't require any extra calories to be used. And the best part is that as you keep on lifting, you will gain more and more muscle each month. And naturally, the more muscle you have, the more calories are needed to maintain them and to grow them even more. So yes, by building more muscle, you are also directly getting rid of the extra fat, even if you keep on eating the same calorie amount as before. However, that obviously doesn't mean that you should be eating garbage like you are used to. You need to realize how game-changing only eating clean foods is. Because it's really difficult to get obese from only eating clean foods. So you can enjoy having full plates of food on a regular basis and just eat until you're full. Because unless you get an inhumanly monstrous appetite, you will feel satiated every single time. If you stay away from garbage food and sugary drinks, you will be able to transform your physique even without counting calories. Because if you are very active and you only eat clean foods, you will always almost be around maintenance or even in a slight deficit. And that is the exact point where you want to be if you are currently skinny fat. While we are talking about clean food, we of course can't forget about protein, because that should be your number one priority. As I said, if you keep your diet clean and you remain active, you don't really need to bother with counting calories. But the thing you absolutely have to count, at least roughly, is how much protein you are consuming. Because you have to be 100% sure that you are consuming enough, as everything hinges on this. If you are just slightly chubby, as most skinny fat people, going with 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight should be your goal. It's definitely on the higher end, but that is very much on purpose. Because if your whole diet revolves around intuitive eating, keeping it high in protein is crucial, because protein is highly satiating, which means that if each one of your meals has a good amount of protein, you will feel full much sooner than if it didn't have any protein at all. Plus you need that protein to build more muscle, and you already know how everything interacts together, which makes hitting your protein one of the most crucial factors that will help you escape the skinny fat state. So these were the steps that you should follow to escape your skinny fat physique. The only thing you need now is consistency. Adjust your daily routine according to these steps in a sustainable manner that you will be able to follow even if you are tired from your job or school. Simply make your routine so simple that it is impossible to quit. That will guarantee your success. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to check out the beginner bundle down in the description, because if you're looking for something that will take your hand and walk you through the whole process, then this is exactly what will help you. If you like this video, then you should definitely check out this one too.